used to think that having more houseplants meant I was doing something right, that if I had an abundance of them, my home would finally feel complete. I also started to feel like I needed every single variety or species of a particular plant, and it started to feel less intentional, and then it started to feel more like consumption. I've always been drawn to the natural world, and naturally I got into gardening at a very young age. Whether it be outdoor gardening or indoor gardening, I loved getting my hands dirty and I loved seeing things grow. I started to feel more anxious when I started to collect plants. Especially when I think about it now, I wanted every single species of Philodendron. I wanted every single variation of the Monstera albo or Monstera Thai constellation. And in recent days, I wanted every single variety of Anthurium out there, whether it be ones that are filled with beautiful purple colored veins, or ones with minimal veining, or ones that look like an arrow. I really wanted every single plant out there to fulfill that collecting need. I would scroll, I would save up my money, and then buy. And this would be a little bit of a loop that I would find myself in. I told myself that I was appreciating nature, that I was connecting with my younger self, but I didn't realize that it would stop making my space feel more calm. I knew that having hundreds of plants would be a responsibility, but I didn't know that it was going to bring a lot of anxiety as well. I would sit down and try to relax, but then I would hear this little voice in my head that would say, hey, you forgot to water this certain section of your plant area. And I started to make checklists in my brain, and instead of actually enjoying my plants and fully resting in my place, I was managing it more than I'd hoped to. At some point, I stopped asking myself, which houseplant can I purchase next? And I started to ask myself, what does my space really need? I realized that our space needed more light, we needed more breathing room, and we also needed more intention. I let some houseplants go, and I stopped replacing every loss, and I started to notice the ones that actually stayed. Now I think of plants less as decor, as beautiful as they can be, but I think of them more as companions, as cheesy as that sounds. I know which ones need morning light. I know which ones like to be watered every other day, which can be a lot. I know which ones that don't like to be watered until the end of the month. And I notice the ones that just want to give up. So having less plants meant that I noticed them more. I was able to enjoy them. They started to feel less like objects and more of like a quiet presence in my life. One of the biggest shifts for me when I moved in with my partner into this space was having no houseplants in my room. My room back at my mom's place was filled with plants. It was a place that I could keep a plant in every single corner and my mom wouldn't get mad at me for it. At first it felt wrong. My partner even mentioned that it's weird that I don't want any plants in our room, but I knew that this shift would help me have less anxiety. And it kind of was like a hypothesis that I wanted to test out, and I'm here to say that it 100% works. I go to bed almost instantly and I always feel sleepy and tired, and I feel comfort when I step into our room. The minute I laid down, there was no checklists, but sometimes even now when I go into the living room where all these plants are, I sit down on the couch and the checklists start to appear in my mind. So there's no more guilt, no more reminders, just rest. And that taught me something very important. Now, I don't think buying houseplants is bad. Mind you, I just purchased a plant this weekend. I also don't think that loving houseplants too much is a flaw. I just came to the conclusion that owning more doesn't mean that I would feel better. For me, intention taught me something that accumulation never did. Being someone who always loved nature, I always felt compelled to collect every single plant, every single living thing, as you can see by my fish tanks right behind me. But I then realized I don't need to collect every single plant anymore. I want to live with them. I want them to teach me something, and I want to watch them grow, and I want them to teach me how to grow as well.